Doctor Who, The Star Beast. This was episode 1 of the Doctor Who 60th anniversary specials in 2023. I will be honest, I really felt cold toward the Chris Chibnall era of this show, and I was really looking forward to the 60th anniversary specials because we had the return of Russell T Davies, the original head writer for New who made, in my opinion, some of the best television I've ever seen, as well as creating my favourite character of all time, the 10th Doctor, played by David Tennant. And with this 60th anniversary special, David Tennant was returning alongside arguably the greatest companion of the revival series, Donna Noble, played by Catherine Tate. I was extremely excited for this, and well, I just wanted to share my thoughts as a fan, how I feel about this episode of Doctor Who. So, if we go to the opening of this episode, so the pre title sequence, I remember watching this with two of my friends at my house and thinking, wow, this is very weird. Doctor Who doesn't usually do this. It doesn't recap a previous era of the show. Yeah, there's flashbacks, but this was very odd because we have some terrible green screen with David Tennant just standing there in space, and it just looks bad and awkward as hell. I mean, look at, there's just so much space on that right hand side, and then Tennant is just there on the left, and it's like, what is this? What am I watching here? Why is this happening? I found this very weird and jarring, and just, it wasn't a very good opening. I think all they had to do really was maybe show some of the scenes from series 4, the important stuff like the Meta Crisis and the Doctor and Donna and the Doctor Donna in general. That's all they needed to do. They didn't need to have this weird narration thing with David Tennant and Catherine Tate. And yeah, it just felt weird. They were just talking straight to us, to the audience, breaking the fourth wall, and it was just really odd. Not a huge fan of this opening to the 60th anniversary specials, I'm afraid. Just not a great start. However, immediately after this very odd, strange pre-title sequence, we finally got to see at what the new opening titles would be like. And my god, the goosebumps set in. I mean, Doctor Who is that show for me. Like, whenever that theme song comes in, whether it was the Jodie Whittaker era or the original Tennant era, or, even in Classic Who, as soon as those titles play, goosebumps. And this one is actually maybe my favorite opening titles ever. Like, the visuals were absolutely incredible. Like, this is the best visual opening I've ever seen in this show. It looks much higher budget. It looks crazy good. The colors are beautiful. The TARDIS looks at its best. Genuinely looks like they're traveling through space and time, and it just looks so good. And Murray Gold returns after, it's been 6 years when this came out. It had been since Murray left. And my god, have I missed that man, because Segun Akinola's music was extremely bland in the Chibnall era. Did not enjoy his work in general, and it was just refreshing to feel this energy, this excitement in the theme. And yeah, it's pretty much it's between this and the season 4 theme when it comes to which one is my favorite, but this is so damn good, and I was really happy. And again, watching it with my friends, I just remember I was so pumped when this came on. Again, after that really odd, misplaced pre-title scene, this really brought it home for me. Unfortunately, my next issue with this episode is actually the circumstance in which the Doctor and Donna reunite. I think this was it felt so rushed. Literally, the first thing that happens after the credits roll, Tennant lands in Camden, and literally about 5 or 10 seconds later, he's sort of wandering around, and then he sees Donna instantly struggling with some boxes, and he goes over to help her like the Doctor would do. I have no issue with that part of it. It's just the fact that these two meet so easily and quickly, and suddenly at the very start of the episode there's no build up or lead up. It's not like Partners in Crime where the two of them were essentially, well, Donna was sort of trying to investigate adipose, and so was the Doctor, but they kept missing each other. It was fun to see that happen, and then when they eventually do see each other, it's a hilarious scene, and it pays off so well. But here it's just okay. It just happens. It's just convenient. And that's an issue I have with this episode in general. There's a lot of convenient things that happen, which I'll refer to later. But yeah, as far as the Doctor and Donna reuniting, it was funny. It was funny. I think, with the boxes, and you can just tell these two are so good together, and yeah, it was funny. And yeah, Donna was Donna. She's still Donna. She misses the spaceship crash landing because she's sorting her boxes out, whereas the Doctor and Rose Noble are in complete awe of what's going on, as well as the rest of the town. So yeah, it was definitely classic Donna. It was enjoyable, but again, it just felt rushed, and again, it could have been done much better, in my opinion. I just want to mention the performances across the board. I think Tennant and Tate are great. I mean, they're just brilliant actors. They've proven this time and time again in many projects, especially Doctor Who. They have great chemistry with each other. They're very good friends in real life, and they're great on their return. This is no cash grab. They are trying, and they do a good job. I also think all the other Russell T Davies era characters, like Sylvia and Sean Temple, it was lovely to see them again, and I did enjoy their performances too. They still felt like those original characters. All authentic. I think the comedy works in this episode, and that's a big plus, because if it didn't, it could have really cost this episode. There are some scenes in particular, such as, well, the chaos at Donna's house was quite funny. When the Meep's there, and Donna and her mum doesn't want Donna to remember these things, obviously. And then the Doctor shows up at her door, and then the Doctor gets slapped by Sylvia, and then all this chaos ensues. And then out of nowhere, Sean Temple comes in, and he's like, "What the hell is going on? There is an alien in my living room. What is happening?" And that was funny. It did work for me. And there was a few subtle nods to Nerys, who is a classic character from the Russell T Davies 1 era, who Donna hates. Yeah, so in general, the humor worked. Tennant is still so good with the humor, and Catherine Tate, and all of them. And I think from that point, this episode does it well, and I'm glad. This scene really sort of irritated me. The Doctor gets corrected on using pronouns. He assumes that Beep the Meep is male, and he is then told by Rose Noble, who has transitioned, and she says, "Well, how do you know it's a he?" And then the Doctor does ask, "Are you he, she, or they?" And then Beep the Meep says, "I am just the Meep." And I'm like, what is the point of this? This is so stupid and ridiculous. All it's gonna do is cause a backlash. And it literally had caused a backlash, and again, it was just stupid and unnecessary. It shouldn't be in Doctor Who. It doesn't need to be in Doctor Who. You don't need to do this, and I just don't get why he did it. Russell, not a good choice, and it just comes off as just an irritating scene. That's all I can say. Just irritating and unnecessary. Another performance that I think deserves worthy praise is Miriam Margolyes. She was fantastic as Beat the Meep. I mean, to have, well, essentially she's playing two characters in one. One is this really innocent, cute little Beat the Meep. The other one is a psychopath who murders and is absolutely crazy. So the fact that she switches it up, and she switches it up so well and convincingly, that it's really, really impressive from Miriam Margolyes. She was great here. I think the fact that Beat the Meep was an animatronic and wasn't just fully CGI, I have to commend them for that. It looks so damn convincing, so real, and the way they brought it to life from the comic is really, really, really commendable. I think they did a great job overall with Beat the Meat. And also, just a great job overall with production, set design, costume design. It's all top notch. Like, Doctor Who was relatively low budget for a long time. It did start getting better when Matt Smith came in, Stephen Moffat took over, it got a bit more recognition globally, and much more money came in. And yeah, the Jodie Whittaker era looked pretty good, but yeah, this is really, really like an improvement. Like, this is the best that Doctor Who has ever looked, and that's good. Um, I mean, just look at the Wrath Warriors here. They look so damn good. Like, when you look at the comics, this is perfect. They look authentic. They don't look fake or stupid. And yeah, I mean, from a technical standpoint, this is really good. And I was pretty much like, yep, these are really good production values. This is the best Doctor Who has ever looked, and that really made me happy. That's a very good positive for the episode. Let's talk about the story, because that is another issue that I sort of have with this episode. I know it's the first episode. I know they had to reintroduce the Doctor and Donna, and maybe they didn't need to go all in straight away. But the fact is, there's 3 episodes. I feel like all 3 episodes should be quite impactful, and unfortunately, the story here is paper thin. I know it's following a comic, but it is paper thin. I mean, essentially, what happens is the Doctor comes back, he sees Donna, and then immediately a spaceship crash lands. Then Unit investigate the spaceship. They get possessed by this psychedelic sun energy thing, and then we also see that the Wrath Warriors have also landed on Earth, and they're after the Meep. And then we find out that Beat the Meep has also landed with them, and he is taken care of by Rose Noble, and she takes care of him in her shed in the garden. Eventually, the Doctor traces Meep to the house, and obviously the chaos ensues, guns blazing, loads of stuff happening, explosions, destruction, and eventually the Doctor figures out that the Meep isn't what he seems. The Meep is actually evil, and is part of a race that pretty much destroys everything. That it's basically a savage race, and the Wrath Warriors are there to arrest the Meep. Whereas The episode did something quite cool where, for a first time viewer, you might have thought the Roth warriors were on Meep's side, and the unit soldiers probably weren't. But the truth is, the unit soldiers, the psychedelic sun, all that stuff, they're all working with the Meep, and that was kind of cool. And then, yeah, we see that the Meep is evil and wants to destroy Earth, of course, for no reason but savagery. Okay. And then, pretty much it's very basic Doctor Who, like very, very, very basic. Like, not even like, just such bare bones. And yeah, that's all it is. It's just bare bones Doctor Who, paper thin plot. And I'm like, for a 60th anniversary special, this isn't exactly special. It's not even that good, really, as a story. It's got some cool moments. It's funny in general, yes. Tennant and Tate are great, but of course they are. But yeah, from a story perspective, this isn't the best episode to start with. Um, but yeah, this image here, what does that mean? What is that? Well, there's a character called Shirley Ann Bingham, unit scientific advisor at the moment, and she's a wheelchair user, and she has a missile launcher in her bloody wheelchair for some reason, because that's not ridiculous. Yeah, she also has sleeping darts in her wheelchair, and she sort of saves the Doctor, Donna, Sylvia, and Sean and Rose from the unit soldiers because she takes them out. And then she blows a hole in the damn wall with a missile that came from her wheelchair. And somehow, the funny part about that is the missile is launched from her wheelchair, yet there's no impact. Like, you would expect when a missile is launched from a wheelchair, the wheelchair would probably go flying backwards, right? No, her one stayed still because it doesn't. Because why would it go flying backwards? Where is the logic? There is no logic. It's stupid. I don't know why I had to bring that up, but there's things like that. I'm like, why is this here? This wouldn't have been in the original classic Russell T Davies era. This just feels like some sort of representation or message like, oh, just because she's in a wheelchair doesn't mean she's weak. She can do these things. She can save our heroes. She can destroy walls. She can. It's just so unnecessary. It's so unnecessary and it's so convenient. Like, again, what I was saying before, because not only is Shirley Ann Bingham being there to save their lives convenient as all hell, why okay, so the Meep is planning to launch his ship, or their ship, or her ship. I don't even know what to say here. I'm just gonna call it he because I don't care. Um, the Meep is going to launch his ship, and in doing that, because it has a dagger drive, it will basically destroy London. Because why wouldn't it? You know, why wouldn't it destroy London? Why would it just not be a peaceful taking off? I don't know. Convenience. Anyway, the Doctor tries to stop it. He gets on the ship. He tells Donna, "Don't follow me," but she follows him because she's curious. And yeah, he tries to like stop the ship from taking off, obviously, and then out of nowhere, the Meep just says, "Bisect the Maxifold," which basically splits the room in two. And as it happens, the Doctor goes to the other side of the room to press some certain button or pull some levers, and then it's fully shut. Therefore, there's one of them on each side, and time is running out. Countdown is started, and I'm like, well, this is incredibly convenient, one of them on each side. The maxifold has been bisected. Did it need to be bisected? Why does it need to be bisected? And it just goes back to that earlier point I made, just why? Why? Why is there so many conveniences here? Like Russell, this is Russell T Davies. This is the man who wrote amazing episodes. Episodes like The Waters of Mars, Midnight, The Sound of Drums, Utopia, Doomsday. And this is the best he could do. Just convenience after convenience, and it's just like, come on, really? Is this the best you've got after all these years? This is what you return to Doctor Who with? Come on, man. Just quite disappointing. I will say that this part also had the best performance of the episode. David Tennant is absolutely incredible here, as well as Catherine Tate. It is quite emotional. It does hit. It does hit. It does work. Even though it's extremely convenient that we got here, these two act the hell out of it, and they are so damn good. It's just a shame that the writing didn't match the quality of these actors' performances, because if it did, my god, would this be even better. But yes, for the most part it hit. The seriousness here, the tension, even though it was quite convenient. And then this leads to the Dr. Donna being activated again. Yay! Because that's not what I expected. I mean, it's not like it was so convenient that the Dr. Donna would have to get activated. Oh, no, she did have to come back. So, yeah, the Doctor pretty much sees that the time is running out. The only way we can stop this is if I reactivate Dr. Donna, then she can help and press the buttons that need to be pressed. Quite weak, to be honest, but you know, whatever. It's just, no, not whatever. Like, this is the Dr. Donna, for God's sake. This was like one of the best parts of the classic Russell T Davies series. That is like arguably the best storyline for a companion that we've had. The Dr. Donna, the Journey's End. And they just bring it back so carelessly and so conveniently, to the point where it's like, do they even know how much they're disrespecting the Dr. Donna? Like, you can't do this. You just can't. And he does it. And yeah, just very, very, very convenient for the plot, and it just makes me sad that this is how the Dr. Donna comes back, and it's just not what I would have wanted for the return. Again, all logic is thrown out of the bloody window, because Dr. Donna does fix everything, you know, of course she does. And basically, the ship was going to take off, and when it was going to take off, it created these massive cracks through London, you know, and as you can see here, there are cracks in the roads. But guess what? When she presses all the buttons on the ship, stopping it, taking it off, guess what? The cracks, they return to normal. The cracks, they converge as if no cracks were ever formed. Like, all the damage is reversed for no reason. There's no explanation to that. It's just stupid. Again, the fact that Russell T Davies wrote this just makes it even worse. If Chris Chibnall had written this, I would be like, okay, this makes sense. I can see why. I can see why this is happening, because it's Chris Chibnall. He's stupid. But Russell T Davies, man, what were you smoking? What were you smoking? Because this is so stupid, so silly. So then we see that Donna dies. Or does she die? I don't even know if she dies. She sort of collapses in the Doctor's arms. And again, Tennant is so good here. Like, his performance is so good. He's really upset. He pretty much given up. He's like, so the unit soldiers finally reach them and about to shoot, and then you can just see on the doctor's face, he's like, you know what? I don't care. Kill me. I just don't care. I just lost Donna Noble, my absolute bestest friend. You can do whatever you want to me. He is so good here, and it's just, this is an episode that's not very strong, but it is really helped by the presence of David and Catherine, and just such strong performances and some funny scenes, and yeah, just, it's a shame. Then guess what? Rose Noble. Oh my. So the Meta Crisis, right? Apparently it was inherited by Rose Noble. Yeah, she has Metacrisis energy within her, dormant. And when Donna reactivates, well, it reactivates in Rose. Yeah, because that makes sense. Whatever. So fine, it was inherited. I can buy that. What I don't buy is that, to be honest, Rose Noble is not that much of a good character. She's not very likable. She's pretty wooden. Her performance isn't very good. She doesn't really have much to do in this episode, even. And she's kind of unlikable with the whole pronoun scene. And I'm thinking, like, well, okay. But then she saves the day. Well, she doesn't save the day. She saves Donna. Donna doesn't die because of her. She, she flicks some switches. And then apparently that makes all the unit soldiers, they lose all the, the mind control, and they're back to normal because she flicked a couple switches. I mean, how, just pathetic, to be honest. And yeah, I mean, the main issue I have here is, as a character, she doesn't deserve to have such a moment. It's played off as this really cool heroic moment. You got this cool sort of heroic music playing, the stupid non-binary comment, which we all know why that was there. I know that Donna says binary in the old one, but they just really wanted to say non-binary, so they fucking said it. And yeah, she doesn't deserve it. She does not deserve this moment because the character was not developed well enough and is just not likable enough to do something like this. And it's like, really, this sort of blows. It really does. But these issues are kind of annoying, right? Well, this is my absolute worst issue with this episode. This one really, really annoys me. So, God, I don't even know how to address this one. Well, so the Doctor, Donna, they all get off the ship, Beep the Meep is captured and sent away for imprisonment. And then they're like, well, the meta crisis will still kill us if we don't do something about it. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. At least that's back. At least they didn't sort of, bring back the meta crisis and, it's fine. She can survive forever now. No, they still have to get rid of it somehow. At least there's that. Well, that's what I thought until the method in which they do get rid of it is the most ridiculous, cringeworthy thing I've ever seen. Pathetic. Absolutely undercuts Journey's End. Because all it takes, believe it or not, to get rid of meta crisis energy is to just let it go. Yeah, yes, let it go. So, oh my god, they literally, Donna and Rose, they hold hands, and they apparently just let go, and all the excess Metacrisis energy just disappears because it's that easy. And Donna could have done that in series 4. You know, she could have just let it go, but she didn't. So, how absolutely pathetic that is. To undercut, like I said, one of the best storylines in the show, one of the best seasons in the show, one of the best finales ever. You really, really went for this cheap, pathetic ending to the Metacrisis because we all knew going into the anniversary, well, the Metacrisis is there, and eventually Donna will have to remember the Doctor. Her memories will eventually come back. So how are they gonna get around that? And never in a million years did I think it would be like this, because this is the same man who wrote the original Metacrisis story. These are the same actors, David Tennant, Catherine Tate. How in God's name they all agreed to this rubbish here in letting it go so easily? It really irks me, and it's just pathetic, and it just feels like some stupid Disney ending. Literally, this energy just floats in the air, and then some of the characters start blowing at it like it's some dust. It's so ridiculous and not Doctor Who, and just, oh my god, it really annoyed me. It annoyed me so much that when I watched it with my friends, I I was so sad that I was like, I just want to see the TARDIS. I just want to see the new TARDIS. I just want to see that, because I was genuinely sad at this garbage here. Ah, but you think it's bad, but then the fact that they have a dig at the Doctor just before they let go of the Metacrisis energy. Rose Noble, this character who I just said doesn't deserve any of the heroic moments she got. She, well, she did the pronoun thing earlier, right? And that's annoying enough, but she made it even worse. She says, a male presenting Time Lord wouldn't understand, the process of letting go. I mean, how dare she, really? How dare he, she, they? How dare they? Like, to say that to not just the Doctor, but the fact that it's to David Tennant's Doctor, it really personally offends me. David Tennant is my favourite Doctor, if you hadn't noticed. And the fact that Rose Noble decides to say this to David Tennant's Doctor, even if it was the other Doctors, I would still find it offensive as hell. But it just makes him look pathetic. He makes this face here. You can see that Tennant probably felt embarrassed in this moment, that he had to actually take this insult. At least if it was Donna, you could say, okay, Donna normally does insult the Doctor anyway. But the fact that it's Rose, this character who we don't even like, that doesn't deserve to even have any of this stuff happen to her, for her to give him this final dig, no, just piss off. Just absolutely piss off. Ridiculous. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. But at least there was one more positive thing, and that was the new TARDIS. The new TARDIS is damn amazing. I love it. It's probably the best TARDIS in New Who. It is so damn clean. It is so damn big. It looks real. It's got a bit of the classic influence, but it's got a modern touch. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love the different lights. I love the different settings. I love that it's got a coffee machine. I love Tennant's reaction to seeing the new TARDIS. It felt like it was just David Tennant, not even the Doctor. And he was just running around, screaming, and it just felt like lovely to see him genuinely happy. And it is a damn good TARDIS, and it really lived up to my expectation. Like I said, I just want to see the new TARDIS. The new TARDIS was lit. I love it. And of course, Donna being Donna, spills her coffee on the TARDIS console, which then goes crazy and the entire thing starts exploding. It's such a funny ending. Again, the comedy works. It really does work, and it was funny. And it was just ridiculous how many explosions and stuff there were because she spilled a little bit of coffee on the TARDIS console. But it's a fun little cliffhanger to set us up for the next episode, Wild Blue Yonder. And yeah. So in general, how do I feel about this episode? Do I like it? Do I hate it? Especially with the last few points I've been making, it probably sounds like I absolutely hate this episode, but I don't hate this episode. I actually sort of enjoy it. I think it's okay. I think it's got that cozy, warm feeling, that Russell T Davies era feeling that I have personally missed as a fanboy of the original Russell T Davies era, and it has that stuff. It does feel like a Russell D Davies episode. I loved seeing Tennant and Tate back. I think they're both still so good. I think I love the 14th Doctor's outfit. I think it's really good, by the way. I think the new TARDIS is beautiful. The production values are brilliant, best it's ever looked. The opening title's possibly the best we've ever had. The comedy, it really works most of the time. It is a generally fun episode. The emotional moments do hit, if I'm being honest, for the most part. It's just that there are some really annoying woke moments with Rose Noble. She's just a character added for inclusion, and this is why it weighs me down on this episode because yeah, the episode itself is really bare bones, so it's never gonna get like a really high rating from me. But the stupidness of what they decided to include in this episode and force, and that character of Rose Noble just not working in any way possible. Like she's just not likable. She does not deserve what she gets. And really that's why I'm not a huge fan of this episode. However, I can't ignore the pretty good positives that I've made. And yes, I did in general enjoy this episode, but I have some really important issues with it. And yeah, they usually do come in that last sort of third of the episode. A lot of those cracks start to show. And yeah, I mean, like I said, in general, it's a very like basic paper thin plot, and it's nothing remarkable. It doesn't feel like a true anniversary episode, and for that reason, I'm gonna give this one a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 is my score. I think it's an okay episode. It's okay. It's got quite a few issues, but I did generally enjoy it. But anyway, next time I will be covering episode 2 of the 60th anniversary, Wild Blue Yonder. So we'll see you next time.